Hi, welcome back. We just had a little technical difficulty. The heater in here, because this is set up in my garage at my house, blew the breaker on one of the power strips and killed the lights and the hub and the television. And, yeah, that was a problem. So we're back. I need to run the heater to a separate circuit than the rest of the studio is running on.
It's a little chilly in here, but at least our characters are well geared out.
That's
for
right.
the winter.
We're trying to, give a nice immersive experience here, what you're about to go into. So sorry that we just dropped the stream there and had to split to another video. And we're still waiting for the laptop that is helping our remote artist, well, not remote, our real-time artist, show up on the screen as well. So we're still waiting for that to come up.
Our remote connection to our real life.
Here it is. So we have armor type, bulk, weight, base movement, and then general costs. Mm-hmm. And so padded is considered fairly bulky, 10 pounds weight, and maximum move is 9. So 12 is normal max move for a normal human being. Your max move is 9 in padded armor. So with your outfit. With leather, it's considered non-bulky, but though it does weigh more at 15 pounds. But you can move at a full 12.
All right, then.
The only other one that you can move a full 12 is elfin chainmail, which is extremely rare.
Real quick, as a thief, I cannot wear anything above that leather armor. Is that correct?
Padded leather, I think you wear studded leather, and then elfin chainmail. Elfin chainmail is very special, very rare, but doesn't encumber at all. Like you can be a thief acrobat in elfin chainmail. There's a slight penalty, but
okay, so
you can do a lot of your thief stuff in elfin chainmail, which is awesome, but really, really, really rare.
So that's the cheater upgrade for I still have a AC of 8. I need something better now.
Yeah, elfin chainmail is basically what Bilbo gave to Frodo, the elfin mithril shirt and such. That's elfin chainmail. It's super light, but it protects like full chainmail.
What's your dex, Adam?
It's pretty low. It's a 13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he intentionally wanted a pretty mundane character.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
But I have an 18 dex, but with my bonus, my leather armor, I have a 4 AC.
Right, because of your dex bonus. Yep.
So
So,
never getting there.
so did you just before the lights went out, Andy? It's all your fault. You were asking.
I was.
You were asking
You wanted to ask
Dranera
Dranera something. I said, is there anything you wanted to ask Dranera before we?
That Lord Torchon's a weird character?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Torshalon, yes.
It's a curious character.
Yes, curious character. And she said, how so?
I was just wondering if you knew much about him. We were in
fair
such a
amount.
rush that we didn't get much time to actually socialize without, having to run for our lives. And
He has been a major supplier for many of these goods that you are eating and that you have seen here at the house. He has been very well connected and very helpful to us. A good ally.
oh yes, definitely we owe him our lives to a extent.
Oh, really?
Giving us a place to shelter on the way here, and restock once after we had to flee the port town.
We would not have escaped Belkoth when the Modradians arrived.
Well, of course, you wouldn't be in Belkoth and when the Mordradians arrived, it wasn't for him either, so...
Well, you don't know that. Some of you would have been. Some of you.
So let's call it a wash.
Yeah, no, when this is all over and done with, he's going to help me be a knight, and I'm looking forward to that.
Indeed.
Lady Dranera,
Yes.
I have some skills with getting into places that perhaps are hard to enter. I have some skills with the sword and the dagger. Moisha here is good in the wilderness. Talk can use his magics to fool people.
Among other things.
River is very, very pleasant. And Torrid is here.
He's a very good hider. Best hider I've ever seen.
Do you have any skills or talents that may be able to aid us while we travel?
Well, in addition to a lot of lore that I had to learn as a child,
in history and languages. I have learned a little healing, both from when I was a child and from some of the people who have helped me over the years. And I have learned a little bit of the natural magics.
You know magic?
A little, here and there.
Oh wow.
It's mostly working with nature.
So you says that, or well, Kerr says when we came up here, there's like magic wards that let us know if we had weapons on us and other things.
Yes.
So is that the kind of thing you know?
That's not my ability. That
Oh.
is from one of Sir Karen's folk.
Oh wow.
Set that up for us when we were building this place years ago.
That seems like it'd be really useful to just be like, I'm just going to use some magic and see whatever's walking around.
It's
Think about all the stuff you
much more
catch.
complicated than that, yes.
Oh,
Beyond
okay,
my
well.
abilities.
So
But I can help a little along. I am not helpless either. I can defend myself. I am not the great swords master that Sir Karen is, but I can fend for myself in a fair sword fight.
Well, that's
If
good, but
necessary.
please allow us to do our best to ensure that you don't have to.
Of course, Karn would be very upset if I were to engage in any fights if less absolutely necessary.
But it's good to know that if any of us should fall, you'll be able to handle yourself to an extent. And
Yes, I am not helpless.
that's excellent.
But there is safety in numbers on such a treacherous journey.
Naturally.
Speaking of us perhaps falling, if anyone would like to write out a last will and testament or some contract as to what to do with your remains and your belongings when you pass away, I would be happy to help you with those contracts.
I don't know. That seems like you're just going to jinx the whole thing. I mean,
Is buying a sword jinxing yourself? No.
no.
It's just being prepared for a fight. Is buying armor jinxing yourself? No. It's being prepared to be stabbed. You're going to die. It's going to happen.
Hey,
One day, sooner or later. Today or in 1,000 years. But you might as well be prepared for it.
I mean, I can see the point, but wouldn't it be prepared for it? Be more like get some like magic scrolls or something, or I don't know.
Sadly, even the best contract cannot provide immortality.
What it was like with like some sort of like god or something? You fooled him, Ron, and he gave you immortality because you wrote the best contract ever.
You should beware of such contracts. I know someone who made such a deal for immortality
Really?
and has regretted it for hundreds of years.
Really? Wow. So was it like one of those things where it's like a clever trap, so he's still alive, but he's just bones sitting
They
in the
asked
casket?
to be effectively immortal as far as not being able to die from age or illness. And what was granted has granted that. But the person is forever doomed to keep changing form.
Wow.
Thus the form never ages and never if he starts to come down with an illness when the form changes, the illness is no longer a factor and he will live potentially forever.
Is he a doctor?
No. You can tell get through the veil she's looking at you curiously.
I wonder who it is.
Some type of lord, I imagine.
Goes by many names, but I don't think any of you would know. But be very, very careful if you ever make such deals. They almost never work out the way you think they will.
Oh, you old, be careful what you wish for.
Indeed. Indeed.
I was expecting you were going to say it was the old wished for eternal life, but didn't mention eternal youth. That's a good. That's a classic right there.
Oh yeah, that's one I heard.
So
Yeah.
it is getting late and we will be getting up at 3 in the morning. So I think it would be wise for us to call it tonight if you've had your sufficiency of eating. I think I'm going to turn in for the night. And we'll awaken you at 3 a.m. And we hope to be on the road by 4, long before daylight. So I will bid you good night unless there is anything else urgently you need. We will have plenty of time to speak on the road.
No,
No, we thank you for your company and hospitality, milady.
yeah, this
Good
food's
night.
really good, even if it is really weird. I mean, it's kind of like soup, but
And
there's
she
no
kind of
spoon.
floats down the hallway out through the curtains and disappears.
She's got a Segway under her gown.
Saw some really cheesy medieval fantasy film on Prime that effectively. No, wait, it wasn't medieval, but it was the Flash Gordon series.
Yeah, I was gonna say
the
Flash
cheesy
Gordon-
Flash Gordon
The
series.
moment I saw that,
and the
I was
guy's
like-
on a freaking Segway under his robes, clearly.
And I was like, what? I was so I saw one episode of that. I was so
Yeah,
disappointed.
oh, it was so
Especially what
bad.
they did to the Hawkmen.
Oh, the whole thing. Oh, yeah, that was pitiful. Anyway,
Yeah.
you all go to bed?
Yes.
Before we go to bed for the night, my friend Moisha, they gave me some garments that have a few minor dings and damage. I'd like to
You know,
offer something for you to fix these and make them as beautiful as they once were. Would this be possible, my friend?
I will be happy to take care of that for you. Let us agree
I
that
don't expect you to do it tonight.
let us agree that for the moment, depending on how extreme the changes are, we need not enter into a contract.
Ah, a verbal contract. You've all witnessed.
So certainly,
And
a verbal contract's not worth the paper it's written on.
I would expect a heroic gentleman like yourself to live by his word.
Well, I live by my word, but there's no paper.
Hey, remember that one time I said that to him, and he said, "No, you still gotta sign the paper," and then I signed the paper anyways.
All right, you guys call it a night? Your
Yeah.
characters?
Yes.
Okay, so, yes?
Torin, on the way to bed, let me show you how to wear your armor.
Really? All right.
I'm going to spend 10, 15 minutes teaching him how to use his leather armor. Just like how to get it on right.
And not try to wear all 3 layers of padding, leather, and chain simultaneously?
Yes.
Yes.
Most secure.
I've got a tip for you on that armor, too. Don't.
All right, so you guys go to bed.
Yes.
yes.
Okay. You go to sleep. In the morning, knock on the door. You get ready to go. There's food served for you as well. You go ahead and eat breakfast. And out front, there's a lot of torches lit. There's half a dozen of the villagers there. The horses are all of your horses are already saddled and prepared. And so you've got a long line here. Sir Karn has got his mighty steed up in the front right now, and Dranera's horse is in the middle. It's this beautiful black, about 15 hands. It just Farhad, you recognize it as usually only the royalty had these types of stallions and such. It's very, very valuable. Entire tribes have slaughtered each other over these horses. And she has one of them. It's about 15 hands and sleek and strong. You're not sure how well it's going to do in cold weather, though. This is an Iridian horse. This is not a mountain horse. And it looks older. It looks like it's probably, somewhere between 6 to 9 years old. But very proud. It's a stallion. And as soon as she comes out, it, kind of wickers happily to see her. And it's kind of pawing the ground, anxious to get going. And the other horses are kind of just mellow and just kind of looking around and, just look ready to go. None of them look sad or anything, though. There's no pitiful. The mule, is not the happiest mule. But,
Don't be
everything's
sad,
loaded up and ready to go. And Dranera, just asks you to, quickly, we must go. We want to make some progress here before light comes. And so the villagers kind of escort with the torches. You have to go in single file because remember, it's a very narrow walkway down the cliff. Is there anything you guys want to do before you leave?
All right
Or
then.
say?
other than have like my armor on properly.
Okay, so just your leather armor.
Just the leather armor. The
'Kay.
hoodie is over it, but it's been like stripped like some like the underclothing that I had
Okay.
stuffed into.
So it's
it.
not overly padded.
It's not overly padded now. It's just pretty much. It's a lighter weight hoodie, so I still have my pocket and hood.
Okay. All right.
And my bracers.
Okay.
Bracers.
There's nothing River wants
Okay.
to do.
Okay. Okay, Joe.
No.
Okay. All right,
know
you
my
guys
pony.
work your way down. Yeah, you get on your relative, your various horses. Did everybody get a name for their horse? Yes, I know. That's why I was trying to rush them. Did everybody get a name for their horse?
Yes.
Everybody? Everybody?
Yes.
Okay. All right, good.
Some of the horse names are kind of ridiculous, though.
I know, right? Fake.
So you work your way down. You get down, and as you're getting near the center of the village, you see all of the villagers come out, and you see they're actually rapidly, they're starting to pack stuff up as well.
Oh.
Oh, excellent.
And you also notice that, remember how when you came near town, like the fog and cold kind of stopped and like it was clear above you? You can see now the west is all fogged over as well. The north is still clear, but you can't see west beyond the fog, just beyond the village. I mean, it's, you know, there's a partial moon, you know, on the above the clouds, but clearly the fog has moved north more than it was before, and the chill in the air is quite biting. So those of you with the warmer gear are grateful for it. It's still above freezing, but not much above freezing. And you gather with a brief conversation between Sir Karn's gruff comments and some of the village leaders that they'll be leaving in a day or two. It's going to take them time to pack everything up, but their purpose was to protect Janera. They don't need to stay here anymore, and it's time for them to go back to their people. And they'll be moving much more slowly than your group will be, because they have a lot of belongings and children and everything. What's that? And geese, yes. But they'll start the trek north, you know, in a day or so. Karn clearly is concerned that even that might be too long, and tells them to hurry, but wishes them the best. He switches into another tongue. Does anybody here speak Northron?
No.
Nope. Okay. Some of you might recognize it as Northron, but you don't understand what he says. But and they say something to each other back and forth. And the smith, he gives from his horse, you know, leans over and gives the smith a good, you know, camaraderie shake and such. And there seems to be some strong comradeship there between the smith and himself. And so then Karn looks back at the rest of you, gives a little curt nod, and right as you get on the road, and you follow the road out of town here till finally you get past the last few farmhouses.
And roll
as
initiative.
and you travel north out of the bowl here. As soon as you get past the last of the farmhouses, the temperature drops like 15 degrees. It's still clear, but it just gets colder very quickly. Just quite a drop. And so you travel north, and you get a few hours. You know, the sun starts to, you know, the sky starts to lighten again. You're at the foothills of the mountains, so it blocks the sun for quite a while. And you're traveling for a few hours. You're about 4 hours. It's 4 hours since the sun rose, so around 11-ish, coming up on noonish. Sun's broken over the mountains, and you can see to the south what at first you thought was more of the fog and clouds. You see as a large smoke coming back from where Kasarnik is. Just like 6 hours after you left. You can see huge clouds of black and gray smoke.
Can we see the flickers
start
of lightning?
roiling up. No, you don't see any of that. But huge rolling clouds of smoke going up into the sky above the cloud and fog bank there. And at one point, Dranera gets his attention. He kind of fell back with Dranera in the middle of the group. Mm-hmm. And she gets his attention and looks back, and you see his shoulders tense up. He doesn't have his helm on right now, so you see his jaw clench as well, and shakes his head and, you know, mutters some kind of curse under his breath gruffly. And then he just raises his hands, "Hold!" to stop the group. And it points back. "Everyone see that?
Yeah?
We've only been gone 6 hours.
I mean, that's kind of what we've been doing the past, 3 weeks, yeah.
Imagine what would it be like if you had not wasted a day poisoning and torturing us.
He turns to you and looks at you.
Farhad spits on the ground.
Imagine what it would be if we stood here talking about this for a long time.
Yeah, well, you see his jaw clenching, and Janera reaches up and pats him on the arm, and he looks at her and gives a sigh.
Farhad just starts writing.
Okay. He says something to her in, which sounds kind of like Iridian, but it's an accent you don't recognize. You catch it as an Iridian variant, but not the tongue you're familiar with, to her, and she gives some sort of calming, soothing sounds to him, and he clicks for his horse and moves along again. So you guys continue on. He encourages everybody to get up to a trot at this point, even though it's a little bit of a hard ride and cold. As the sun broke over the mountains, the temperatures slowly come up and broken above freezing again. And so you guys are making pretty good speed heading up the road, heading north. And you're finally on the road north in the next leg of this adventure. But you know that just 6 hours back, all those people there were warriors. Even the children could fight probably more competently than some of you.
Oh yeah.
And every sign points to that they were overrun very quickly.
They could have just burned everything and fled. You don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm just wondering how many people did the beast take down?
Yeah.
Battle needs.
We can hope that they got out.
That's just 6 hours back as you guys ride on.
We can hope perhaps that they made it out of town just ahead of the horde. But I suggest we all pray to whatever power we believe in, that as we leave this land, there might be some of it left when we come back.
Karn nods, Dranera nods. All right, and we will leave it there. So we'll be back again next week, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll be on the road. Things should start picking up here on the action. There won't be any more dallying on the equipment.
On the road.
James,
Yeah.
do you think you can draw yourself a battle geese with armor? All right.
They didn't have armor. They just.
I'm just saying, get that barding
Right.
on for
So,
the battle geese.
thank you for
They
joining
just were
us.
oversized.
If you
They're
get a
just
chance,
scout
please donate to RPG Research, 501c3 nonprofit studying the effects of all role-playing game formats and their potential to help improve lives. And if you join as a Patreon supporter, you get a whole gaggle of extra hero points that you can spend to make this interesting
That's
for
good
the
for the
player
goose
characters.
and good for the game.
That's right, a whole gaggle of them. So wherever you may be well, happy gaming, and namarie.
It glows.
Bon Banwa.
Adventure.
I've got a goose egg.
The only thing more unbreakable than a contract is a grudge.
Yeah,
Good night.
good night.